space.
Oh yeah, that should be fine.
I think
Right.
admin utilities.
Right.
That's
Okay.
what we were, is
We
it?
were discussing about AD administration.
We did the theory part of AD
Yeah. And
administration.
then you said we got to show the practical
Practicals,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly.
practicals.
Today we are going to do that initially, and then we'll be continuing some other discussion as well. Okay, so I mean, as we discussed already, just I'm giving just overview about AD admin again. So this AD admin is one utility, okay, among all AD utilities. Okay, so this utility is having so many options to perform application DBA activities. Okay, usually these AD utilities are set of utilities which will be used to maintain Oracle application. Okay, so some of the AD utilities for AD admin, AD patch, AD splice. Okay, so something like AD ident, okay, AD MRG, AD controller, something like that. You have so many AD utilities available under AD. AD means application DBA. Okay, so among all utilities, AD admin is one of the major utility which is having so many options. Like you can perform so many options because it is one of the command line utility, okay, which will, when you initiate this utility, you will be getting so many sub menus and again sub menus to those menus, something like that we are going to see now. Okay, so these are, so the prerequisite for these AD utilities are, most of the AD, not all AD utilities require database, but most of the utilities are require database, because it's closely work with the database, because it will update the database standard tables, means your AOL tables, and sometimes this some of these utilities will create some objects in database, and some temporary objects in the database, and drop the those objects once the job has finished. So something like, so that's the reason, it is mandatory. Okay, make a note as it is mandatory to bring up your database and its listener before using your editor. I mean, so simply you just make sure whether your database is up and running or not, okay, before utilizing this AD utility. And not all AD utilities are required to bring down your application, but some of the AD utilities are, before you use some of the AD utilities, you need to bring down the application as well. For example, when you are applying a patch, yes, you need to bring down. Okay, when you need to bring down the complete application. Okay, and when you are relinking the application, you need to bring the concurrent manager as per the documentation. But I would recommend you need to bring down the application completely before relinking the application. And again, you have one more option, one new option in R12. It is maintenance mode. When you perform maintenance mode, theory says you don't need to bounce anything, but practically when it comes to the practical, you need to bounce the Apache server for that. So this kind of, these utilities require your application need to be down before using. And the other utilities, sometimes Oracle may insist you to do a bounce after performing that activity. For example, if Oracle introduced so many forms, if he asked you to regenerate many of the forms in any particular application, sometimes he might ask you to bounce the form server. Okay, and some other patching also there, some technology stack patching and all. So when you perform those technology stack patching, you need to bounce these. Sometimes Oracle might ask you to bounce the Apache server, something like that. So where the Oracle will ask us to perform this is the meta node ID. Okay, so sometimes, for any of your issues, Oracle recommend you some node IDs and ask you to perform that node ID steps. And sometimes, when you apply a patch, each and every patches will have their own read.txt. And here, maybe usually in the database side, we don't seriously look into the patch readme.txt. Okay, simply we'll be downloading the database patch, and we'll be using OPatch utility to apply that patch. But application side, each and every step mentioned in mentioned in reading the text is very, very important, because so as part of that, so before applying the patch, you might need to perform some of the activities, and after applying the patch, you might need to perform some of the activities, something like so many what you call so many activities will be including. Some of the activities you might need to use AD utilities, and some of the activities you need to do manually on the operating system side, or I mean either database side or application side, depends on the patch, it vary. So something like so patching, when it comes to the patching, anyway we will be discussing in detail at the time of patching, but we will have one reading the text, and you need to go through each one, I mean each line, I mean the instruction steps will be there, and you need to perform each and every activity without missing. So that, I mean by with example we will be seeing at that time. So this and all, most of the times, AD utility usage will be depends on the Oracle action plans, and there itself they will be recommend you, okay, perform they usually they won't be saying use AD admin and then choose this option, that option to regenerate a form. Simply they'll be saying, please regenerate after performing this task, please regenerate the form. That's all. Okay, at that time you should be understanding, like okay, I need to regenerate the form, means I need to use this particular utility, and for that utility I need to provide these many inputs and all, and for that I need to choose this option and then this option, and then again these many inputs, something like those and all should come into your mind. Okay, so by your own you never initiate any of the AD utility to perform. Okay, so just that's a brief about the AD utilities. And again, one more important thing is these AD utilities, most of the AD utilities run, I mean, can work parallelly, in the sense this utility, I mean, each and every activity will be divided as a job here, and those jobs will be executing by the workers, and those workers will be initiating at the time of you initiate your AD utility. So whenever your AD utility requires to run multiple jobs, at that time this worker concept will come into the picture. So I mean this again, this number of workers will be decided by your utility itself, and you will be recommend you the minimum and the maximum number of workers. There you will be choosing the best number of workers. Okay, so that those work, I mean those workers will be are taking care of your jobs. Okay, and parallelly, like so I mean here there is a one more concept called distributed apple top. We discussed already this. The number of workers you can spread into the multiple machines if you are using multi-node architecture. Okay, here multi-node means, remember, application one node and a database another node, that is also called a multi-node. But at that point of time you can't use a distributed appletop, because here multi-node, in the sense in order to use this distributed appletop you need multiple application nodes. Okay, it's not simply multi-node, it need application node should be on multiple machines. At that time you can use a distributed appletop, but still we recommend, personally I recommend you, no, don't use this distributed appletop, because you need to, I mean, the maintenance will be very difficult. As long as they execute without any issues, it will be okay. But when it comes to any error or troubleshooting, that would be a quite confusing part. That's the reason. Even I mean, most of the guys will not prefer distributed Appletop. Those people are using multi-node application system. Okay, and here when you use workers, and we are having another utility called AD worker, ADCTRL. Okay, so that ADCTRL is a utility which will be used to maintain all your workers, like so you can check through that particular utility. You can check status of the worker, and restarting the worker, exiting the worker, forcefully restarting the worker, forcefully executing the worker, and ignoring the worker, something like why, because we need to exit worker from here is whenever any of the issue comes up, immediately all the workers will communicate each other and they stop the process completely. Okay, they won't be like, worker 2 failed. Okay, worker 3, worker 2, worker 1 and worker 4 never continue, because all these guys will think like, so worker 2, there must be some dependency on worker 2. So most of the times what will happen, worker 1, let's say, for example, when you are applying a patch is creating a table and creating some index on that particular table and then inserting some data. Let's say worker 1 is creating the table, worker 2 inserting the data, worker 3 creating the objects, let's say. So here in this case, worker 1 failed, and what is the point in continuing worker 2 and worker 3? The table itself not created. Then you can't, the worker 2 cannot insert the data and worker 3 cannot create the index. The same way, the AD utilities all think like that. The one worker depends on another worker, they think, and if anything goes wrong to the any of the worker, simply the all the workers will communicate each other and they will halt it. And until unless you fix that issue and restart that particular worker or exit from that particular worker, your AD utility will not continue. Okay, so here, AD utility, the main window will get stuck like that, and when you forcefully come out, that will be treated as an incompleted AD session. And when you try to restart that, but when you try to initiate the same utility once again, it will not start from the scratch again. It will be asking whether do you want me to continue there is a previous session, do you want me to continue the previous session or not. So something like it will be asking. So all the time, whatever, okay, if worker failed or fixed or ignore whatever it is, all the workers need to be maintained from AD controller utility only. It is mandatory, note it down. Okay, so that's the one thing. And this AD controller utility you can't use anytime. When the workers are comes into the picture, then only you can use the AD controller. Now if you go and try to initiate a AD controller, it will be throwing an error. Okay, what kind of error? Usually AD controller completely work with one table called fnd underscore install underscore process table. And when this fnd install process table will be coming into the database, when you initiate any of the AD utility, so this AD utility will be creating the fnd install process table and we adding some data into that. And once after finishing the the activity, your utility itself will drop the fnd install process table. So now if we go and check in the database whether this particular table exists or not, you won't be seeing. Okay, so this table will be created when you initiate your AD utility. At that time, when the AD, when this fnd install process table exists in the database, that time you can make use of your AD controller. So that and all we'll be seeing now. So if you see here, okay, what I said, first you need to bring up your database and its listener. Okay, so without bringing up the database and listener, if you try to initiate, what will happen? First we will see that. Let's say su minus appl prod. So check whether we have initiate. Yeah, we have already set the environment. Okay, so if you remember on the day, the other day I have kept this file in bash rc, so that whenever I log into this particular user, automatically bash rc will get executed. It's something like profile in your Solaris or other operating system. Either dot profile or dot bash rc or dot bash underscore profile, either of these three files you can keep this one. So now my see, so my environment is set. Let's say now just see dns spring prod. It is there. So did I suspended or rebooted? I didn't remember exactly. Yes, more. See, let me try to connect. So database is not there, TNS no listener. So now let me try to initiate. Okay. So when I source the environment, automatically that AD admin the binary directory also will get sourced. When you say AD admin, it will sorry, it will be showing the location AD top bin location. Okay. So now this is in system path, and I can execute my AD admin utility from wherever I want. AD admin. So see, should be fine. Dash is see, database part is right. System, password, manager, and see, it won't be continuing. Okay, it will connect to the database and verify. Okay, so from the beginning, I'll show you. Okay, so like this, in between your AD utility will be connecting to the database, and it will be asking your system password, and once after taking the system password and the system password is right, then it will be asking your app's password. So when you provide this, automatically it will be connecting to the database and verifying whether the database is up and running or not, and listener is up and running or not, and then connect to the database and connect to that particular user. So your database listener both should be up and running along with the user valid password. Okay. So that is the reason your database and listener should be up and running. Let's start that.
Mark,
Yep.
but sorry, when you try connect up, when the listener and the database are not there,
Mm-hmm.
I did not see any errors actually
No,
in the screen.
no. It won't give error, but it will keep ask you the system password. So when you give the
No, I
system
think it
password,
was saying unable to connect to the database.
yep.
Oh, is it? Did he say that?
Yeah, yeah.
If you see here,
Unable to connect to the database.
I'll show you.
Something like that.
Can you scroll up?
See, keep on, it will ask you enter system password. AD administration need the password for your system or Oracle schema in order to determine your installation configuration. Again, it will ask the same password. Again, it will ask the same password like that.
Oh, well, this is silly. This is not giving error actually.
Yeah, it
He's
won't
not
give
able to
any
connect to
error,
database.
and
Please check for.
there you need to make sure that either here three issues can be happen. Like one is your system password might be wrong. Okay. Second one is
Yeah.
your listener might be down. Third one is your database itself might be down. So these three things you have to be keep it in your mind. Okay.
Yeah, so silly.
Yeah, yeah. That is
Okay.
the reason that FTP is mandatory. That's how we are getting our job safe. So that's all. Like, let me, yeah, listener is up, and let me bring up your database as well. It is taking time. So I'm still running from my hard disk. So initially it will. Come on. Sunil also in, I think.
Is there? Sunil?
I can see.
Hello? Yeah, I can see online. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, just logged in. Yeah.
Yes. Sunil, you have to stand up on the bench now.
Yeah.
Why, Sunil, busy at
Hey,
home?
Madhu, I didn't call actually. Sorry, yeah,
Huh?
I'm at home. Yeah.
No,
My
no,
family
no.
back yesterday, right?
Oh, okay. Then you should be from this week. You should be fine then.
Yeah, I'm fine. I will attend. Yeah. But I think I didn't install anything. I think I need to spend 1 hour for installing again. I haven't
Don't
started it.
don't worry. Even I'm the same boat. Okay, but I have a
You
different
also didn't
issues.
install. Why?
No, because the disk space ran out, and then the whole virtual machine was hung actually.
Actually, Madhu downloaded NLS also, right? So
Yeah, I downloaded all the files, 80 to 83 files.
It's, I think Kshitij's given me all the files, so it should be all right.
Yeah, just download the 50. Yeah. The one that I've given you, that is without analyst, so you should be okay.
Uh,
so what's happening?
Check the space. Is
Yeah,
there any problem on the
there
space
won't
side?
be any issue basically.
Or maybe I would say alert log of the database.
Yeah. Message. Oh, 158 GB is available. Okay.
Environment might not be so. It's done.
Yeah,
I think it's up now.
it's up now. Mm, that's fine. Okay, fine. Your database in the listener is up and running, and you don't need application actually. Okay, so even if it is up and running, doesn't matter. But even without any application services, you can start your AD. You can utilize your AD utilities nowadays. Okay, so here first we are going to discuss about AD admin utility. Okay, after that we'll be discussing other utilities. Okay. So AD admin, yes, I mean it's there in AD top bin location, but since we sourced the environment, okay, so this AD top bin location must be in system path so that you can use any of the AD utility from wherever you want. Okay, so now you are here and home directory of this particular user, and if you see AD top bin location, so let's come to AD top bin for just to transfer. So all these are AD utilities. Let's see, AD admin is one of the utility. AD AMGER is one of the utility. Okay, and AD config datashed is an auto config utility. AD controller, it is AD CTRL is the AD controller. AD patch. So something like all the AD utilities and the related supporting files will be located on this location. Okay. Right. So let's say AD admin and enter. Okay. Very first, it will be very first prompt. It will be asking, is it right Apple top or not? And he himself will give you the Apple top location from your environment, and that is the reason you need to source the proper environment. and this from that environment it will be giving your apple top location, and it will be asking whether it is right apple top or not. Okay, so you'll be saying yes, and next log file name it will be asking, and it won't ask where exactly it is, just you need to provide the log file name. That's not a path. Okay, this path will be by default apple top admin sid log location we will be seeing now. So usually adadmin.log, and the next time when you execute again adadmin.log will come, and it will, when you say okay second time, the first file will be overwritten. So that is the reason, whenever you use whenever you use any of these AD utilities or the time of log file, so admin under some date or particular service request or particular ticket number or whatever. Okay, so depends, depends on your comfortable naming convention you need to provide. It's a 2-05, let's say, dot log. Okay, so next is see your previous AD admin, because I have aborted right just now. That is the reason it is asking. Okay, without database I've started and then aborted right. So that is the reason it is asking. So here your previous AD administration did not run completion. Do you wish to continue the previous session or not? So let's say yes, and enter no to continue your previous session. So I need to say yes again. Okay, fine. Next, you can be notified by email if a failure occurs. So, do you wish to activate on this feature? This is the feature. You need to provide your internet details, and you need to configure that. And if you say yes and provide your email ID, so whenever this AD utility is struck, automatically it will be raising an alert and sending you to your email ID or your mobile number. Like, if you can configure your network, people will be giving the mobile numbers at the rate the network.com in the email ID format, right? So that and all you can mention there, So whenever you execute any very long running session, sometimes, some patches will be there. Those patches, the maintenance patch if you take, and those are the GB patches, it will be 1 GB, 1.5 GB, something like that. So at that time it will be taking around to 1.5 day, 1 day, 3 days, something like that. Depends on the workers you have provided and all. It vary. So even if it is a 1 day, you can sit in front of the machine. That's the reason. If you can give this particular email ID or your on-call mail ID, if you can give, automatically whenever anything goes wrong, automatically it will be generating the one alert and sending you to appropriate location to your inbox or mobile. Okay, so this is the option is there, but still we don't use that. So somebody will be 100% will be monitoring. So we won't be leaving like that. Continuously somebody will be monitoring and checking. So as far I know, till now I never gave my email ID here. I never activated here and provided my email ID. So just this option is there, just for your information. So but that's the reason by default they give no. Okay, so just continue with the no. And batch size, batch size is nothing but the number of database sessions. Okay, so if you give 1,000, the background 1,000 up to 1,000 sessions it can go. Okay, so this again, the by default it will be 1,000, and usually will be going with the default one. Next, it will be asking your SID, it will be giving you, and then it will be giving your Oracle home. Okay, so it never be IAS home. Remember, by default, your Oracle home in the application will be your developer home, 10.1.2 home. Okay, 10.1.3 home, very rarely you will be using this Apache when you are performing any of the RDB, technology stack patch, particularly on Apache server. So at that time in your read text, they will be giving you, like, first source the 10.1.3 Oracle home, IAS Oracle home, and then apply this patch. So that kind of specialized nodes will be telling you to source that particular environment and then perform the task. But usually by default, the environment will set to the 10.1.2 Oracle home. So whether it is the 10.1.2, whether it has showed 10.1.2 Oracle home or not, and then you'll be verifying your SID is right or not. So you'll be asking like, is this correct database or not? So when you say yes, so you'll be asking system password. Okay. So system password by default will be manager. Right. So by default, the system password will be the manager, and once after taking the system password, it will be asking apps password. So here it's nothing, it's not like apps password. So you'll be taking apps password and then connecting to the Apple sys schema. So if you read this, the Oracle Home user specified below for application object library is nothing but AOL. Uniquely identifies your existing product group APLCS SYS Apple sys. Okay. So nowhere it will be mentioned as a provide the Apple sys password. All the time, whenever Apple sys is required, it will be asking as a apps password only, because apps password and Apple sys password both are same. Okay, and whenever you change, I mean, you never ever try to change Apple sys password separately. Okay, so if you really require to change the Apple sys password, you will be changing the apps password directly. So there is a special utility called FNDC pass. With the help of that particular utility, we will be changing the apps password. Okay, so when you change the apps password, automatically Apple sys password will get changed. So you never separately changing the Apple sys anytime. Okay, so that also keep it in your mind. And it will be asking apps password, application object library, but when you give a apps password internally, it will be connecting to the Apple system. So why? Because you need to create, as I said, one particular table will be created automatically when you perform AD utility, and once after finishing that utility, it will be dropped, right? So where it will get created under Apple system only. So this FN install process table, and the other some timing related objects and database, some of the other database objects and all need to connect at the time of performing your activity. So at that time you need the full privileges on data application tables. So who is the owner of these AOL objects? Apple sys. So internally he will be connecting to the Apple sys user. So when you give apps password by default will be apps. Okay, by any chance, if you are working on 11.5.9, just keep it in your mind. When you type your password, the password will be writing on the screen itself, and that will be recorded in app in a log file also. So when you are working on 11.5.9, when you are sharing your AD utility log files to other teams or Oracle support, this one you need to keep in your mind. Okay, so you need to mask them and you need to send it to the appropriate people. So that is there till 11.5.9 only. From 11.5.10 onwards, they have made it hide PWD by default. Okay. So when you once all your inputs are right, then it will be providing you your main menu of your AD administration. Okay, so AD admin main menu. So in that you will be seeing generate application files menu, maintain applications file menu, compile or reload applications database entities menu, maintain applications database entity menu, change maintenance mode, and exit AD administration. Okay, so here the till 11.5.9 you are having only 5 options. Okay, except so here change maintenance mode option is not there. So 11.5.10 onwards they have introduced this particular option called change maintenance mode. That's the major difference between 11.5.9 and 11.5.10 AD admin utility. So rest all options are same. Okay, you don't need to worry. All the other options are exactly same. So only only main change is the change maintenance mode option newly introduced in 11.5.10. Okay, so we'll be checking. We'll be checking how it will enable, and all we'll be checking. Okay, so here when you select option 1, again it will take you to some other screen with some other menus. Okay, so under option 1, generate applications file menu, you are having generate message files, generate form file, generate report file, generate product jar files, and return to main, return to back menu. So next, applications file menu, maintain applications file menu is the second option. If you see here, you will be seeing relinking the application programs, copy files to the destination, convert character set, maintain snapshot information, check for the missing files, and return. Again, one by one we will be seeing later. So if you choose third option, which is nothing but compile or reload applications, database entities, these are directly works with the database. These options, first two options will work with the application mainly, and the third option is totally belongs to the database, compiling apps schema, compiling menu information, okay, compiling the flex fields, and reloading jar files, and back to main menu. So fourth option, maintain application database menu. So validate app schema, recreate grants and synonyms for apps schema, maintain multilingual table, okay, check a GL table and return. So next, fifth option is change maintenance mode. If you choose fifth option, you are having two options again, enable maintenance mode and disable maintenance mode. Next to sixth is the AD exit, like that, okay. So you'll say AD, there is no timing information because we have not done anything, right? So otherwise, it will be recording all this timing information and keep it in a AD times related one table is there, and you will be keeping there, okay. So you can fetch the AD utilities time from OAM, Oracle Application Manager. So you can go to the particular date and time and choose the option called your AD utility option, and then it will tell you how much time it took to execute this particular activity, and all it will be saying. So when you perform your activity and when you say exit, means last option when you choose, you will be taking all the information, what and all you have done for that AD utility, what and all options you have executed for that AD utility, that and all he'll read it, and against to that he will be keeping the time taken for to perform that particular activity, okay. So and when you see the log file here, apple top admin sid log under ad admin underscore my timestamp dot log file, okay. So what and all you have performed here, everything will be provided there, okay. So even though, I mean, by mistake, if you commit any mistake here, so while performing this utility, by mistake, if you commit any mistake, just admit that mistake and you just accept that mistake, because there is no chance to escape, okay. So everything will be recorded in log file and all, and you can't, I mean, you can go, still you can go to the log file in VA editor and you can delete it, but so there must be lots of information in that, you might if even if you forget to delete one particular line, that will indicate that you have done something to your particular log file and all, okay. So when you perform, I mean, by mistake, if you perform any wrong operation, just we have to, because your AD tables will record that information, log files will record that information, it's very difficult to escape. So make sure to take your own time before executing this utility, any of the AD utility. Just take your own time, analyze as much as you can. Once you are okay with the action plan and utility and the inputs to the particular utility, everything, once you on the paper, then only you start executing, okay. Otherwise you spend your time on analyzation itself. And again, this and all, most of the application DBA duties, once you commit any mistake, you can't revert back mostly, until unless if you are copying a file and by mistake, if you copy some other file, just you can revert back if you take a backup, okay, by taking the backup and all. But the database side, you cannot roll back the transactions or whatever you perform through AD utilities, even in the application side also. I mean, at the time of patching also. So database patch you can recall, I mean you can uninstall, okay, but application patch and the technology stack patch you can't uninstall. Once if you, I mean if you apply a patch wrongly, that's all gone. Okay, so that patch will be going, and again we need to contact Oracle support to get, by mistake I have executed this particular patch, or I have applied this particular patch. What is the impact on which? So by seeing the read mode text itself, you will be seeing belongs to which product and all, and we can find the information from them, like what is the impact and what are the precautions we need to take as well. That's and that. Okay. So that anyway we'll discuss later. Now again, let me initiate AD admin. Okay. No, bash shell should be fine. Database is right. Major apps. Okay, so let's start with generate applications file menu. Okay, so choose one. So generate message files, generate form files, generate report files, generate product jar files, and main menu. So here generate message files is nothing but each and every product is having MESG a file. The other day at the time of file system architecture I have showed you. Okay, so if you see here, SU hyphen let's say EAP top. Here you can see MESG. This is the file. Okay, so let's run this file. Let's say choose one option. See here it is saying the AD utilities can support a maximum of 999 workers. Okay, your current database configuration support the maximum of 84 workers. Oracle recommends that you use between 2 to 4. Okay, so it will support your database support, but it depends on your operating system as well. So whether your operating system can hold that capacity or not, everything it will be validated. Though it is 84 workers your database supports, but still Oracle recommend you 2 to 4 workers. You can use I mean 2 or 3 or 4. Sometimes in different environments will have different set of configurations. Sometimes it will be saying 10 to 14 workers, 20 to 20 40 workers, something like that. So in between, usually when it is the 10 to 14 worker, I'll go up to 17 18. Okay, I won't be using maximum number of workers, but I'll be lessing down to some 2 3 workers, and I'll be using. So if it is 20 to 40, I'll be going with 20, I mean some 30 35. Okay, so something like so let me go with 2 workers, no problem, or let me go with 3 workers. Do you want to generate Oracle message file using the character set UTF-8? So they will be giving your character set, okay, and so if you are having, I mean, multiple character set, you need to say no and go for, I mean, pick one particular character set, and he will be executing only for that particular character set. Okay. So do you want to generate application file using the above? So yes, so you can say it will be continuing, and enter the list of products. All products are one particular product. So if I say all product, it will take a very good time. Let me go with one particular product that's called AP, account payable. And remember here, you should not give in cap letter. Okay, so you should give in a small letters only. Okay, so if it is a all, simply say yes, enter. By default anyway, all it has mentioned here, and it will take that one. And or else you can say ALL, all you can give in a small letter again. Okay, and even products also you need to give, you should not give account payable. Okay, so you should give the product code only. So AP or AR or AK or PA or GL, something like that, that should be in a small case. So it will be showing the list of languages which your installation is having, and for which language you are maintaining, and that depends on your activity. So it will be listing out all the languages, and again if it is all, just say under or else you provide your language name. Okay, so I mean, have you really correctly set your language? I mean, selected your right language or not? It will be asking you again. Say yes. We won't be in practice, I won't be executing all the AD utility commands, because just if you execute one command, that should be fine. Okay, so the same, mostly same number of uh, inputs it will be asking. Okay, so see, if you see here fn install process table, you might have seen now.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah.
Creating
See, yeah,
FNA
creating
table
fn install
table.
process table, and once after finishing this, again it will be deleting, dropping the fn install process table. So writing the, see, worker one, worker process one started, worker process two started, worker three process started, something like, So it will come like that, and see, worker one assigned us.msg. Okay, the same thing you must be seeing here. See, us.msg. He'll create that and he'll overwrite that existing one and finish it. So once after finishing this thing, I'll be showing you the controller, AD controller, so that next option when we use, we'll parallelly we'll run AD controller as well. So if you see dropping AD default jobs and FN install process table, and this is also the same kind of default information and all he'll be keeping, and again this is also dynamic table, not a static table. So these two tables will be creating at the time of you initiate your AD utility, and will be dropping when you say, when it process completed. See, if you see here, dropping FN install process table dropped, dropping AD default jobs dropped, and then finished your activity. Okay, so that's how, and if you see here.
So, sorry, Mark. So, what I couldn't understand, what was the actual basically the benefit of this? We are creating a message file.
Yeah.
So,
No, see,
what exactly?
it's all depends. You never ever create the message file by your own. So it will be like, some of
Uh-huh.
the, suppose your meta note, your action plan contains generate message
Mhm.
file after performing. See, most of these AD
Okay.
utilities will be, the part of post patch or pre patch, something like that. So they will be saying, okay, before
Mhm.
applying the patch, validate your app schema, and then apply the patch, and
Okay.
then compile your app schema. Along
Mhm.
with that, compile the forms for this particular product, and compile a
Mhm.
message file for this particular product. Something like that. Your
Mhm.
read and write text will demand you, and that time you need to use it.
Okay.
That's all.
So, sorry, in which circumstances would we actually generate a message file? As you said that, okay, if you're applying a patch, then it could be that they might require this as part of the post task or something.
That's true.
But just want to, just in a summarized form, what exactly are we achieving out of generating a message file?
This
Just in a
message
summarized
file,
form.
so each language will have their own message file. Usually, this message
Okay.
file holds, like, suppose one particular form is there, and after
Mhm.
finishing that, there it will be giving. So, do you want me to continue? Yes or no? This some messages,
Mhm.
some special messages it will create
Oh,
for you.
okay.
So, if you are using multiple languages, and when you go to Japanese
Mhm.
language, it should give the Japanese
Mhm.
message, and French language, French message it should give. So something like that
Mhm.
information this particular file contains.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
basically, we just loading the different language messages, error messages or information on the application. We're just
We
loading
are
it
not
here.
doing by installation. You will be getting automatically. We won't be doing anything manually. So
Ah,
by
okay, okay.
installation, this message file will come. Okay. So once you are done, when suppose Oracle is introducing a new message file. Let's say that time. This will happen like this.
Oh, okay. If they're introducing it, okay.
Yeah.
They're adding anything new
To your application, at
messages,
that time they will recommend you to
then we
use
will
a
do this.
particular
Okay, got it,
utility.
got it, got it, got it,
That's
got
it.
it. Yeah.
So if you see here, earlier, it is having only one particular file, and he took the backup. He himself took the backup of the existing file, and immediately he has created the new. If you see the timestamp, it's a make fault. That's it. Now it has created.
So, so is there a way to see this message file through
No,
application
no,
or front end?
no.
No. Okay.
Okay, there must be some tools like how these technical people use. There must be some tools to customize these message files and all. Okay, we don't need to worry about, how to do that and all. So we'll be getting the raw file and we'll be integrating into this application. And if that action plan demand us to regenerate the message file after deploying, we will be doing that. Okay. So that's one. Next, generate form files. So here, as I said, these forms are FMX and FMB. There are two formats for these forms. One is FMB file, and that's the code format, and FMX will be the executable. So as I showed you already, all the FMB files will be located under AU top forms ES location, and appropriate. There won't be, all the form means all product forms you will be finding there. Okay, and the appropriate folder forms location, you will be seeing the executables. Okay, so for example, if you see here, okay, let's say again AP top, I'll go to, so okay, this time I'll go to PA top. So if you see forms, ES folder will be there. Okay, these are all the forms we are having. Okay, so let's go to AU top forms. So you say ls, see FMB file is there. So when you run your AD utility, no matter whether you are having FMX file or not, but this FMB file should be there. Okay, so that it will be your utility will take the FMB file as an input, and he'll be generating the FMX file. So let's do one thing. Okay, I'm coming, and CP minus RF ES to ES underscore. Just I'm taking the backup of this folder completely, and after taking the backup, I'll go to the ES location and I'll delete all the files. Okay.
Okay, Mark, okay, while it's doing it,
Hmm?
the FMB files have to be copied on only that particular location, or it can be copied anywhere.
No, no, no. That should be there in AD top, AU top ES location, forms location.
No, 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 no. What I'm saying is, if the application team is releasing some forms, they
Hmm.
developed it,
Okay.
and they gave
Yeah,
you FMB file.
you have to keep the FMB file in AU top only.
Ah, okay. In
Okay.
that particular directory only.
Right. If application support team customizing the existing application, note it down. Okay,
Okay,
so if it is
okay,
a custom application, then they will be keeping in custom location only.
okay,
So some people will be keeping the custom forms also in US location. I mean AU top forms location. But most of the places people will be don't mess up with custom forms and standard forms. People won't be doing that. So usually they will be keeping in AU top forms itself. Sorry, custom top forms itself. Customized forms if it is.
okay, okay. Okay, so your laptop is USB 3.
USB 3.
Yeah, I'm thinking actually because when it's this slow, USB 3,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm thinking how slow mine going to be. My hard disk is USB 3 supported, but my
Okay.
PC is not USB 3.
Oh,
Oh God.
this is because of the hard disk one. I mean, I'll try to release some space, and because I'm having R12.2 in my laptop, I'll swap it actually, so that you can save
Okay.
some time.
Hmm.
Because R12 is having much more file system, and it's a little quite bigger than R12.1, 12.2. So that is the reason I kept that one in my hard disk, my system, and kept. Anyway, I'm done with that testing, so I'll swap tomorrow. It's small folder, and just 10, 15, some 20 or 30 files are there. Still, it is taking. Come on. Okay, we'll do one thing, not generate all the forms. Oh,
Oh, 3.6. Not
hey
surprised.
man, it's a bloody mistake. Sorry.
Yeah, no issues.
Yeah, it's a really bloody mistake actually. So I should take PA forms, right? Not AU top forms. Product forms I should take. And that's what I'm wondering. When I see PA, some 30 forms are there. I'm thinking how PA top forms. If you see just some 30 or 40 forms are there. Simply. It won't take when you copy. Okay, CP minus RF, to US underscore PKP. That's it. Okay. So let me go to US folder, and it's a PA top. RM star. Now nothing is there. Okay. So let me come here. Okay, and say okay. Before that, let me tell about AD controller. ADCTRL. AD controller is the utility name, and the executable name is ADCTRL. Okay, so when you say ADCTRL and say enter again, it will be asking this is AD controller and version 12.0.0. So this is the utility to I mean to work with the workers. I mean how many number of workers are there, and how many are working, how many are pending, how many are assigned. So the entire information about workers you will be finding here. Okay, so AD and see AD controller dot log. So ADCTRL dot underscore test dot log. So enter your username and app's password. See here, enter the username AppleSys, and he never asked to enter the password for AppleSys. When it comes to the password, it is asking app's password. So this is how you will be seeing. So here, see, as I said, your AD, I mean, to execute your AD controller utility, you need fn install process table. So now we have not initiated any of the AD utility, right? So just we are not running any of the AD utility. So fn install process table doesn't exist here. Okay, if you see. No row selected, so no table exists here. So if you try to use, okay, these are the first, let us discuss about these options. So AD controller is having 7 options, and one is first one is show worker status. So it will be showing all the workers, how many workers are there, and how many, I mean, how many, what they are doing, which file they are executing, and what is the status of that particular worker. Everything it will be showing. Next, tell worker to restart its a failed job. Let's say, I mean, worker one has failed, and when you went into the worker one log file and verified what exactly the issue, so you troubleshooted and fixed it also. So then how my worker comes to know that, whether you have fixed the issue or not, when you say restart. So you'll be saying restart that particular worker, and it will be asking the worker number. When you give the number, so it will try to execute, and if your fix is right, then it will continue. Otherwise, again, it will fail. So tell worker to quit. Okay, when suppose you come across an issue, worker one failed, and obviously AD utility complete. I mean, that utility itself will get a halt like that, and until unless you fix that issue and continue, then it will be continuing. Otherwise, you need to come out. I mean, you need to break the admin utility or AD patch utility. So that is not suggested by Oracle. So when you break, I mean, when you say Control C of that particular utility and come out, next time when you try to someone else is try to use, it will be asking again, do you want me to restart the previous session or not? This temporary tables already existed. Do you want us to drop or not? This kind of mess up will be coming. So that is the reason it is always safe. I mean, good to come out of the work, come out of the utility. Okay, with the proper way. Okay, so this is the only way. So you need to come to the AD controller, and you need to mention what and all workers are running. You need to find out, and then you need to mention come out those workers. And when you come out of those workers, automatically your AD utility will come out. Okay, so that time, if you want to come out from the worker, then you will be choosing tell worker to quit. Okay. So next, tell manager that a worker failed its job. What some and tell manager that worker acknowledged to quit. Okay. So this position, sometimes the worker will not show as a failed. Just it will be saying running, and all the time it is showing as a running only. It is not failing, or it is not coming out, just hanging at that at running status. So at that time, if you try to quit the worker, it will not come, because if you want to quit the worker, that worker status should be failed, then only it will quit. Otherwise, when it is up and running and then you try to quit, it will not allow you to quit. So at that time, we will be forcefully making failed, and then we will acknowledge the worker to quit out of that particular worker. So next, restart a worker that on a current machine. This particular this one we will be using when you are using distributed Appletop. Otherwise, you don't require. So next one is the seventh exit, and you have to note one point here. There is one more option which is hidden, is there, called eighth option. So it won't show. Okay, so here in this screen, they won't show. But when you say 8 enter, it will be asking the worker number, which one. That's nothing but ignoring the worker. So sometimes worker one, let's say worker one particular form is failed, and you will be troubleshooting, and then there is a big task to fix that particular issue, and we can take the suggestion from the technical people whether that particular form is really customer using or not. If they are not using, there is no point in fixing the issue or spending a lot of time, right? So at that point of time, we can ignore that particular worker, so that you are ignoring that particular form automatically, and this worker will treat himself as that's the succeeded, and he will continue to the next worker. So until unless you say that it will halt like that, and you need to fix it and continue, or else completely exit from the session. You need to do that. If you still want to continue though that issue is there, then you will be choosing the eighth hidden option, and then you will be giving the worker number to continue. So when you say worker one, you'll make worker one as a completed without doing itself, just morphing, so and then continue to the worker two. So here now, if you see, if you take worker one, simply he will throw in a message like the fnd underscore install underscore process table doesn't exist. This table is used for communication with the worker process, and if it does not exist, it means that the worker are not running because the AD utility has not started them yet. So you have not started right here, so that is the reason it has given error. So if you, let's say if you choose this second option, or the forms or message files or report files or generate jar files, whatever. So if you take any of the option and initiate, and then you can see this particular worker that it is up and running or not. So let's take option 2, which is nothing but the generate forms. So 2 to 4 workers, let's say 4 itself. And one more thing what we will do is, we'll go to the log file and see any worker log already exists or not. Edit up, Apple top, admin, SID log. Oh, worker already there. Let me delete these worker phone logs. That's it. Okay. So now 4. And do you want to generate Oracle forms for this character set? Okay, so we are having now, we'll be having only UTF-8. Okay, so we'll go with that. And do you want the forms related, some of the libraries will be there? Do you want to always say yes? Okay, so do you want to regenerate the form menus files? Yes. And executable, yes. And here it will be asking, enter the list of products. Okay, which product? All the products or one particular product? If you are providing one particular product, give in a small case. So what will happen, so it will be generating PA forms along with the PA dependent forms. Okay, so as initially very first day we have discussed it, right? These products are interdependent products. So one product is depending on another product. So if any of the any of the forms, other product forms are depending on this particular product, it will regenerate their forms as well. Okay. So do you want to specific one particular form you want, or all the forms? Okay, so here do you want to specific? No, I want to execute all. So it will be list out the languages which you are having. So US it is only one language, or you can specify the particular language if you are using multi language NLS. So yes, see, creating FN install process table. Now it's good to go with the AD controller, AD CTR. Okay, see, assigned. So if you choose one, see, running now. Okay, so there are 239 objects are there, and 4 running at a time.
So is this more of like a recovery scenario, we can say, wherein some forms have got
It's not
corrupted
exactly
or
recovery. Okay, by any chance, if it
Mhm.
get deleted, you can recreate with this. So it's not
Yeah,
recovery, to be honest. You shouldn't call as a recovery. Okay, regenerating
yeah,
means, sometimes
regenerating, yeah.
Oracle what he'll do is, as part of patching, he must be introducing some 10 or 15 forms on your application, and he will ask you to regenerate again. Okay, so something like,
Okay.
okay, I mean,
But
you in your
but
language,
let's
yes,
say if
recovery can be
some
done.
customization was done. So
Yeah,
let's say if some customization was done to these forms.
okay.
So how about that? Would they come back or
No,
that
if
that
you are
would be gone?
okay, so see, for example, AP form, some PA form customization happened. So you need
Yeah,
to
right. Yeah.
take that PA form.fmb file and keep in AU top. Okay, if you don't keep in
Mm-hmm.
AU top, what
Mm-hmm.
will happen? AU top will have old FMB file, right? When you execute AD
Mm-hmm.
utility, you'll be picking
Mm-hmm.
the old FMB file and overwriting the existing FMB file, FMX file.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying that what all changes we make to any form that
Hmm.
should be copied to AU top.
Yes, FMB file should be copied to AU top, and when you
Okay.
execute that utility, automatically the latest FMX file will be coming.
Mm-hmm.
See, 231 still there. See, keep on changing file names. Gone. Waiting. Now got. So you can create a one more window and see. Go to PA top and check
So
whether.
is it something that for any product, if
Hmm.
you customize, sorry, for for any product, if you customize the forms,
Hmm.
then you have to copy it to AU top.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay. Maybe you could show that as well when if you have time later on, or in any other class.
But who will customize?
Oh, okay. So we don't customize.
Yeah, somebody need to customize because the same form we are doing now, and if somebody need to change, at least use the form builder and customize the form, change some before and after we need to
So
check. Yeah.
so in a way we can say that this is more of like setting it back to the original or the default. So
That's it.
if we lose lose some forms, we are
Exactly.
basically
We'll be losing. See, what will see, for example, uh, one customized, okay, some developer one customized
Mhm.
the form, and
Mhm.
he asked you to integrate into the application. Okay.
Okay,
So at
compile
that
and yeah.
time, you have two options. One,
Mhm.
through AD utility, regenerate
Mhm.
the form.
Mhm.
Okay, automatically that FMB file will compile to the FMX and copy to the appropriate location. So you have another option, command through command line. There is, I mean, the form utility will be there with the help of that utility. You can create the FMX file there itself, wherever some XYZ location. You can create the FMX file and copy to the forms. I mean that PA top forms VS location.
Mhm.
Okay, let's say you have not copied the FMB file to the AU top,
Okay.
but
Mhm.
FMX is the latest form only. So as long
Yeah.
as it is okay, I mean it's going on, that's fine. But DBA2 has come into the picture, and for one particular activity, he has regenerated all PA forms.
Mhm.
So gone. So previous whatever FMB file is there, that will be again converted to the FMX and copied to the appropriate location. The customized form will gone. Lost, right? So that is the reason always, if it is a seed form customization happen, then it is recommended to copy to the appropriate location. So if it is, you see, custom form, it is, I mean, customized application form, then again it is different. You need to use I mean, you can't use AD admin for that. You need to use the F60 gen or the appropriate utility.
Is there a specific directory in AU top where you need to copy?
Yeah, this flow.
The US, the forms, as you showed us.
I'll
the
show
same.
you. I'm showing you again. AU top forms. Yes. See, all FMB files here. All product FMB files will be here.
So even if it is any product, any
Any product.
form, it has
Yes.
to be copied over here.
Yes.
Okay.
And appropriate product forms US, then it will be going to see all ap.fmx files will go to the ap top forms US location. It will be distributed to the appropriate product folder. Now let's go to pa top US. Okay, forms US. See. Why it has not started? Still doing it. By this time it would have created some files. Okay, just is compiling the PLL files only. And as I said, he went to HR also, see. He might be depending on HR product as well. So after this PLL compilation is over, then these forms will come into the picture. Okay, we'll do one more test. See, it's going on right. Accidentally closed the window. They're just like that because nothing is running, but keeps saying running. It has halt like that. Okay, so next, just come to another window and say id admin, enter. See, do you wish to continue your previous? Say yes now. See, he's continuing. Tables already exist and he will continue from. I'll do over. Create of forms. Yes. Why it has not created? It should create.
So it means that even to generate those 30 forms, it has to look into all its dependent products,
Yeah.
get the information, and then create the form accordingly. Even look at the database, all that stuff,
Yep.
tables, and then create it.
That's true. Yep. If you see, I said PA only, right? Inside? Yeah, PA only. It's going to the dependency.
Mark,
Hmm.
now in this screen, it's showing APPS and star star. Is that what you mentioned? You go to display the password
No. That's the
in the
timing.
previous
Timing
question.
related to that one. So what and all time you spent on AD utility will be recorded there. So it won't even give the star actually. Just simply it will take, that's all.
Okay.
It is still compiling the dependencies. So after that, after finishing this dependency, he will be coming to the PA. You need four workers only, right? It is taking. So in between it took AR also. Okay, it will take time, man. Okay, I'll leave like this. Okay, so 160 job means it will take another 15 minutes or so. So tomorrow we'll be seeing the other options, and we are not going to run each and every option. Okay, so I'll be running the most frequently used options. I will be running and showing you. So like another option is compiling your apps schema, which we run very regularly before applying the patch, after applying the patch, and both the time we will be running that option. So such a kind of options and all I'll be executing and showing to you, and rest of the options I'll be explaining you. Okay.
Okay.
So that's all. 150 jobs are still remaining. I'll leave this machine like this, and tomorrow I'll show you the newly created file system. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah. No worries, man.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah. See you. And
Bye.
tomorrow 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sharp.
Thanks.
Chalo, bye.
Sure.
Okay. Bye.
Okay,
Okay,
bye bye.
bye.
Yeah, cheers.